Hey, one of the things we are always talking to our clients about and they ask us is, if I don't get this injury taken care of, what's going to happen, okay? Or will it heal on its own, okay? Because honestly, most of us, we get an injury and it's like we treat it like that knock in our car, okay? We just keep hoping it's just going to magically get better. One of the questions that comes up is a rotator cuff. For those of you who don't know, rotator cuff tear happens in your shoulder. It's usually an injury that tears basically the rotator cuff, I guess, okay? It tears one of those ligaments, tendons in there, and it messes things up. It comes a lot when people are raising their hand above their heads, when they feel it. One of the ways we see it impact people is when they're reaching up to get something off a top shelf, putting up something up above their heads. Also, sometimes reaching behind their back becomes impossible, or putting on a t-shirt, things like that, okay? And they really feel that pain when it's going on. Now, sometimes you can have a degenerative rotator cuff tear where it's just an overuse injury, and it's an injury that just gets worse and worse and worse. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about one from a traumatic event, usually a car accident or even a slip and fall where you fall and injure and basically tear your rotator cuff if you hit it on the floor. Now, is this going to magically get better by itself? The answer is no, okay? Rotator cuff tears don't just get better. You don't have enough blood flow and those injuries can't heal. That means the only way to take care of it, unfortunately, is a surgery. Now, you can do some physical therapy that's going to relieve the pain sometimes, take some medicine, reduce that inflammation, make it so it doesn't hurt, but it's still there, okay? So if it goes into being asymptomatic, that's fine, but your injury, the rotator cuff tear, is still there. Imagine you took a thick rubber band and you'd cut some of it on partial the way through, okay? So you didn't do a full tear, you just have a partial tear there. So if you took a rubber band and it's, a quarter on one side cut through, that's your rotator cuff tear, okay? That's a partial tear there. It's not going to just heal on its own. Can you make it so it doesn't hurt? Sure. Can you make it so that you have most of your strength back? Sure. The key word is most there. The issue is going to be what does that do down the line in the future? Does it make it so it's more likely to be injured later on? Yes. Does it make it so it's more likely to be a full tear later on? Yes. Does it make it more likely you can get hurt later on doing something you normally wouldn't? Yes. Okay. Now, if you've got a full tear, that rubber band is totally snapped, okay? Now, does it mean you can't move your arm? No, it doesn't mean that. But it's going to impact you a lot in your day-to-day life. And the key is it just doesn't get better, okay? So if you're 25 years old and you have a rotator cuff tear now, and you don't get it surgically taken care of, when you're 55, you're still going to have rotator cuff tear, okay? So our advice generally is if the doctor says you've got a tear on your rotator cuff, you certainly need to discuss with them, okay, how are we going to get this better? Okay, and better to me doesn't mean it's out of pain. Better to me it means it's fixed, okay? And that your rotator cuff looks the way it did before the accident, okay? Just getting rid of the symptoms means there's no pain, but you've still got a tear there. The rubber band still isn't 100%, and it's nowhere close, all right? So rotator cuff tears don't just get fixed over time. If you're in pain, call Shane at 980-999-9999.
Pain, call Shane.
980-999-9999. 980-999-9999. Shane Smith Law. In pain, call Shane.